What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? It's so nice to see you guys in here. It feels like it's been forever since I did a DDLive, like an official DDLive. I think it's been like a month or something like that. Hoping you guys can hear me. Let me say hello to all my beautiful people. What is this, like DDLive number 157? Let me see. Hold on. It can't be that much, right? 128. Where'd I get 157 from? Jesus. Yeah, how are you guys doing? Man, we got a lot of freaking news tonight. Like, way too much news. And I figured, the bat signals or the drum signals going, and I got to get out there and I got to talk about all this stuff. And to make just individual videos about everything, it seems like a nightmare work-wise for me. So yeah, my hair's messed up. I don't care. I don't care. I got my beanie here. Do you guys want me to put a beanie or no beanie? You tell me. Should I put on the beanie? I don't give a fuck. Look at my hair. Jesus. It's a mess. I don't care though. I don't care. You tell me. All right, you tell me. No beanie. I like it. Ramen Noodles likes it. That's sweet. Let me say my hellos. Let's see. Chester, how you doing? Gene Wildecombe. Yes. Chris. Ramen Noodles. Mark Jones. Nuclear Fusion. Adrian James. Shelby. Kevin Munn. How you doing, Kevin? Tara or Linda. We'll go with Linda tonight. Okay. Polly. How are you doing, Polly? Nice to see you. Tanker Yanker. I always find a name that I like better than my own. Every time. Tanker Yanker, that's awesome. Got a rocket in my pocket. Wasn't that from a movie? Isn't that from Aliens? Sergeant Shitty Pickle. Then, yeah, coming up from the rear, no pun intended, Sergeant Shitty Pickle. Yeah, Jesus. Beanies are cool. But yeah, I mean, we'll go without the beanie. It's less compressing on my head, which is nice. Yeah, it's so nice to see you guys. Missed you guys. Thomas Price, how are you doing? Man, I got funnies tonight too, guys. But man, we got a shitload of freaking horror news. Like, it's insane. And I had to open up like a separate Chrome window, and then I had to create like a folder of tabs just because I have so much freaking news to get to. But I'm stalling. I don't really want to do it right now. Jesus. Linda's actual name. Okay, we'll go with Linda. That sounds good, Tara. Is this your first time at a DDLive? I always see at least a couple new faces every time I do a DDLive, which is nice. The more the merrier. Dude, Haley, how about Jamie Lee Curtis for the opening kill in Scream 7 playing herself? Boy, that would... I think a lot of people would, like, people that are sick of Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween would probably love her for that. I think they'd get a kick out of it because it would show that she's got a good sense of humor about all this. And, yeah, it would be kind of fun. Tyler Marshall, welcome. Everybody say hello, Tyler, hello, Linda, okay? You can say it in the same sentence, all right? I always like to give the newbies a warm DD welcome. So, and I appreciate you guys. I love it when I get new people jumping in the lives, right? How has your week been going? Can you believe it is the 14th of December? It's crazy. Did you guys have all your Christmas shopping done? Let me know. Scott Lauderdale, how you doing, brother? Yes. Just so everyone knows in the chat room that I sent Lee an update about the Return of the Living Dead remake teaser. Dropped yesterday, not too long ago. Yeah, and Kevin, I'm giving you full credit for that. Full credit for the Return of the Living Dead. And there's a little bit of drama behind that whole gig. I did do some research on all my news stories today. As a matter of fact, on Scream 7, Jesus, I spent way too much time researching and putting together like images for you guys on Scream 7. I Know What You Did Last Summer. We got freaking American Psycho. That's the one I didn't really do any homework on because I figured I did a little bit of reading on that one. But yeah, sometimes I like to go into these blind too. But yeah. Shitty Pickle says, Return of the Living Dead? Just go to the mall during the holiday season. Well, it is a holiday movie. Because it's got, in the trailer, it's got Tarman dragging a Christmas tree. I should have pulled up a freaking image from that, damn it. What was I thinking? I mean, because, guys, I'm not gonna, maybe I'll pull up the trailer when we get to it. We'll see, okay? We'll see. We'll see what we got. Do you guys want to start with some funnies? Do you want to start with some funnies before we jump into the news? Or do you want to just dive right into the news? Also, what's everybody drinking? I got a Gatorade. No Haterade over here, just Gatorade. Maybe we should jump into the news so that way we don't get behind, right? But then here comes Chester saying he wants funnies first. Code Red Mountain Dew. I've drank Code Red maybe once or twice. I do love Mountain Dew. I stick to the tried and true. The green stuff, the Hulk Mountain Dew, I guess is what I'd call it. Funnies first, Kevin. That's two for funnies. Jesus. See, and then here comes Zepnet with the news, please. Yeah, don't need to remake American Psycho. Lorianne, how you doing? Channel member. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think the next time I do this, maybe I'll gift some channel members because I don't know how to do that. And if I had to, I could figure it out, but it would take me like 10 minutes to figure it out. And I don't want to waste your time. So maybe on the next time I'll gift, because I see all these cooler YouTubers out there and they're gifting channel memberships. And I'm just scratching my head. I'm like, how in the hell you do that? Damn it. I'm old. Okay. I don't know this shit. Scream 7 cast is terrific so far. I'll give it credit for that. Wish they'd shoot it on the same film stock as the original. That would be cool. I wish they'd shoot everything on 35mm. Same directing style too. I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel gives me streaming vibes. Yeah, we'll see. Grace Randolph loved Craven. That's a lie. There's no way. You know what though? There were some people that said, I don't know if I've seen anybody say they loved it, but I've saw a few likes. You know, I've saw a few people say, "Hey, you're going a little bit too hard on this." I just call it like I see it. You know, I'm not in my mind. You know, I've rated a lot of movies middle of the road. You know, it's not like, and I know this culture today, everything has to be either the greatest thing ever or the shittiest movie this side of Twilight. You know, and there's no in-betweens, it seems like it. But I don't believe in that. I think every movie deserves a chance. So that way, when I do give a movie a rake across the coals, you know I mean it. And I do. I mean it. Let's see. She actually did. That's insane to me. But hey, God bless her. She liked it, then that's good. Let her, you know. That's the beauty of movies, you know. It's art, and in 10 years there'll be a fan club for Craven, and they probably get together once a year to watch it. You know, that's probably going to happen. So, you know, here's what we'll do. We'll jump into a news story, and then maybe to switch things up a little bit after the first news story, then maybe we'll jump into some funnies. Okay, we'll jump into some funnies. All right. So let me see. Let me see which news story we want to go with first. I'm just gonna go random. Okay. You know what? Let's do this. And of course, I gotta redo that. OBS. All right. Where's it at? Here we go. and that, and that. Boom. Boom. Okay. We'll start with American Psycho. First off, let me get a gauge on what you guys think. Are you guys like, do you love American Psycho? Is it like, I'll say this about American Psycho. It's almost a perfect movie. I remember when it first came out, I don't remember it ever coming to the theater. I'm sure it did. But it was one of those movies in the very early 2000s that when it came on home video, it exploded. Like everybody was talking about this movie. And I think it truly was a word of mouth hit. And that's why it is what it is today. And it was so refreshing. And thinking back on it now, it's still very refreshing. It's still one of the most unique movies I've ever seen. And you could, it's a slasher, but it's more than that. It's kind of like a psychological mindfuck of a movie, if I'm being honest. And I think Christian Bale, man, he was perfectly cast for that. Niner Theon says, and I'm sure I said that wrong, but no one liked American Psycho when it first came out. No one knew about American Psycho when it first came out, if I'm being honest, at least not in my circle, and I've always been a big movie fan, but I was in the military at the time, and I think that's kind of where I discovered it. Was like friends that were like, movie friends in the military. They started talking about this movie. And I will say this, I fell in love with that movie from the very first time I saw it. It was just so unique with how it dealt with pop culture in the 80s and how Patrick Bateman, as he was killing his victims, he would give them kind of a little review of 80s popular music. When he's talking about like Genesis and Huey Lewis and the News. That was so refreshing. And I'd never seen a horror movie like that. And you never knew when he was going to give them the axe. Hey, Paul. A young Jared Leto's in there, but Reese Witherspoon, a lot of young talent was in that movie before they really, really broke out. Not saying it was their first movie, but I'm just saying they were on their rise, early on their rise when that movie came out. And Leonardo DiCaprio was originally, I believe he was cast. I know his name was attached to the movie. Originally, Christian Bale, and I saw this in an interview with him recently, he talked about how he was originally attached to do the movie, and the director, she loved him so much, she thought he was perfect for the movie, but the studio wanted a bigger name. And he kind of just hung around for a year or two because everything fell through with Leo, and it came back to Christian Bale. And so, sometimes that's just the way these things work in Hollywood. Sometimes luck is a major thing, I mean, look at Stallone when he did First Blood, and he said he was number 11 on the list. Number 11 to be cast as John Rambo. He said they went through farm animals before they got to him, okay? And don't you love stories like that? So, American Psycho, man, this is big shoes to fill. And let me ask you guys this. Would you want this to be a remake, or would you want this to be a sequel, or would you want this to die a fiery death and never exist? I need to know, okay? Because I'm of the mind that the original is always there. No matter what, the original is always there. The original Amityville. They've made, 50 freaking Amityville movies? It doesn't taint the original for me, Now, there's something to be said, like, say, Halloween. What if Halloween never had any sequels? What if Halloween was... Would the movie stand the test of time if there was never a sequel to Halloween? I think it would. And I think there would be something kind of sacred about it, But because money exists, Halloween, there was no way that we were going to avoid sequels to Halloween. So American Psycho is a different animal, though, because it wasn't a big box office hit. It's just more of like kind of like what Boondock Saints was. It wasn't a big hit, but it was a word of mouth hit, a cult favorite. So American Psycho, it's such a unique movie that I would hope that Austin Butler is attached to it. That gets me excited because Austin Butler is a fantastic actor, So I'm actually excited that he's in it. I would hope that the script is as quirky as the 80s, and maybe this one like touches on like the 90s, or maybe even today. But yeah, I'm not against it. I'll say that. I never even saw the sequel to American Psycho. So, and I never plan on. But yeah, seeing some more people pop in here. Brian Sanchez, Kylie Anderson, how are you doing? I saw Beth pop in. Nice. David Thorson, The Phantom. Yeah, love you guys. All right. So, yes, Austin is awesome. And I guarantee, did you see Dune Part 2 yet? Holy shit. He's only in the movie for a small amount of time. Phenomenal film. One of the best films of the year. He's a big reason why it was so great. Along with Timothée Chalamet, who this, to me, was Timothée Chalamet proving himself, like, fully, to me, like, he could be a leading man. He was really great. But Austin Butler, man, he was scary in the movie, for sure. And you wouldn't recognize him, especially his voice and physically. So, yeah. All right, so let's go back over to the news. All right. People are being humbled after complaining about reports that Austin Butler has been cast as Patrick Bateman in the new American Psycho movie. This is like the newest update. This is after he was announced, and I figured I'd read this one to you to keep it as current as possible, because usually they'll cover what's already been reported in these. Earlier this week, Variety reported that Austin Butler was Luca Guadagnino's first choice to play Patrick Bateman in the upcoming adaptation of American Psycho. Now, the fact that Luca Guadagnino is doing this movie is a huge plus, okay? He did the Suspiria remake, and that's how you handle a remake. Make it completely different than the original. And I think Luca will do some interesting things in this movie, okay? And I think he's got Austin Butler in his pocket. That's why I'm not saying hell no to this movie. It's going to be a different animal, and that's a good thing. But I still think it's going to have an artistic touch to it. For reference, Christian Bale previously played Bateman in the 2000 movie of Ellis's book, but it has been said that Guadagnino's project is not a remake of the film, but his own interpretation of the novel. So it's a readaptation of the novel, And there's so many movies that are based on novels, and I think that's the workaround. That's how they get it by the audience to say, hey, no, we're not a remake. We're going back to the original novel, and we're going to make it our own thing, To me, it's still kind of a remake. It's just a different version of the same story, right? I still call it a remake, even if it's a readaptation. I don't know. What do you guys think? While some questioned if Austin, who recently won critical acclaim with just 23 minutes of screen time for their performance as a villain in Dune Part 2, had the required talent to take on such a hotly anticipated role, others complained that Austin had been in too many movies lately. So, I don't need to read all of this. Just trust me on this. I've read through it all, and I think the meat and potatoes of it is what I just said. That from what I've seen, some people are wanting more of a newcomer in the role. And I don't know, I think some parts I would be totally for a newcomer, like say Freddy Krueger, but to me it doesn't matter if it's a newcomer or if it's a seasoned actor. I think with any property, just imagine if you get a newcomer and he is a shitty actor, right? It's got to be somebody that has amazing talent to be able to handle a leading role. And oftentimes, you get a better shot at that with somebody who has, a history, has had a few movies under his belt. Austin Butler hasn't done too many movies really either, especially in a leading role. He was Elvis not only 2 years ago. And Austin Butler is one of the most promising young actors today, like Timothée Chalamet. He's not a cookie cutter type of actor. He's not afraid to try different things, wear different hats, as we've seen in his roles, okay? It seems like he's almost a chameleon at this point. So that gets me excited. It gets me excited that they're not announcing some actor that pretty much does the same type role every movie, who's just a passable, serviceable actor, right? So I'm for this, and also because it's Luca Guadagnino. Those two things, I'm still happy. Okay. All right. So you know what? We did it. We got through that one. Let's go. Oh, we got a spam bot. You gotta love them, right? Thank you, mods, for jumping all over that. Man, I got the most awesome mods. You know, they never let me down. They never let me down. Got the bot taken care of. Hell yeah. Thank you. Kicking ass, Beth. All right. Let me close out this story. Okay. You know what? Let's go ahead and do this one. Let's go ahead and do Return of the Living Dead. Okay. I'm not gonna play the trailer, but this image right here, guys, will pretty much tell you everything you need to know. Just imagine, and you can pull the trailer up right now and watch it because it's really short. It's only like a minute long, and it's a shadowy tar man figure dragging a Christmas tree that's beautifully lit through a cemetery. Okay, and it says like 1985 on it and whatnot. When I clip this out, I'll probably put some of that video footage over this. Okay, but just know that's what it is. Let's read the story, and then we'll talk about the controversy, because there is some controversy behind this. Okay. All right, so according to Bloody Disgusting, we had learned just about a year ago that rights holders Living Dead Media were developing a reboot of the Dan O'Bannon created horror comedy franchise, The Return of the Living Dead, one of my all-time favorite zombie movies, if not my all-time favorite zombie. It's just so unique, you know. I love that movie so much, and I love the edge that it has, and really the first three movies have. I've never watched 4 and 5. Anyway, continuing, which hasn't spawned a new movie in almost 20 years. This week, Bloody Disgusting has learned that a big announcement is going to be made by the team tomorrow, December 13th, which was yesterday. In the meantime, Living Dead Media and director Steve Walsh, who directed Muck and Killer Goats, guys, is Killer Goats good? I think I got the Blu-ray. I've been meaning to watch it. I like that title. Have provided Bloody Disgusting with 2 exclusive still images from that upcoming Return of the Living Dead movie, suggesting that the project is indeed still happening and coming soon. Both exclusive images tease a Christmas winter theme for the next installment in the Return of the Living Dead franchise. The first one seemingly teases a chilling new take on the Tar Man. And let's look at the images. Yeah, that's the back of the Tar Man. He's carrying the Christmas tree. It's beautifully lit. I mean, it's a really nice, really nice looking trailer. Now let's go. Let's see. Is this it? Yeah. Now, a few months ago, there was a little bit of controversy because there is a lawsuit, a legal battle. Why is that doing that? Hold on. Pause uBlock. Let me try that. Okay. Yeah, there was a lawsuit filed back in August by the current owners of the first movie, Return of the Living Dead, Living Dead Media. And let's read this to kind of catch you guys up on what's going on with that and why this might create a snafu in the future for this movie. And I'm going to say this right now. If it happens, awesome. But I would not be surprised if this movie doesn't see the light of day next year in 2025. I think it'll eventually see the light of day, but I think this lawsuit might hold it up because we all know how lawsuits can affect horror movies. Looking at you, Friday the 13th. We still haven't seen anything from Friday the 13th lately. So let's read this real quick. One of the greatest horror comedies of all time, Dan O'Bannon's 1985 movie, Return of the Living Dead, ended up launching a franchise that to date includes 5 total movies. We can go down. What's the latest on the franchise, you might be wondering? Well, we had learned just about a year ago that rights holders, Living Dead Media who are doing this new movie, were planning a Return of the Living Dead reboot with Steve Walsh attached to direct. This information gleaned from the company's official website. Living Dead Media said last year, our reboot of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead, will expand the existing world created by the original 5 films. I'm going to go down. I don't need to read that. I want to get to... Okay, here we go. The plot on this one thickens this week, with Deadline reporting today that there's now a legal dispute over the rights to the Return of the Living Dead, according to Deadline's report. A lawsuit over the rights to the intellectual property of the 1985 horror comedy The Return of the Living Dead has been filed today in Los Angeles Superior Court. This was back in August. The company that filed the lawsuit is Living Dead Media, LLC, and it's been filed against a new company, here's where it gets interesting, titled ROTLD Originals, LLC, that was formed on July 7th of this year. Oddly enough, this company was formed by, wait for it, the Return of the Living Dead star Beverly Dawn Hartley, also known as Beverly Randolph. And Living Dead Media says she has no actual ownership rights. Living Dead Media claims that the newly formed Return of the Living Dead Originals LLC is attempting to interfere with active and existing contracts between Living Dead Media and its licenses. The lawsuit states, and here's a big part right here. Simply being an actor in a film, remember Beverly, she was one of the main characters in the original film, does not grant or convey any particular rights to the character or any other character or any other rights to the original film. Any derivative works or related intellectual property, Miss Hartley has no rights, title, or interest in the original film. Neither Miss Hartley, Return of the Living Dead, nor any of the purported members have any rights whatsoever in the characters or merchandise that is sold by their licenses. Okay, so I don't need to read any more, but I think the big takeaway there that you need to know, and let me close that out. This is all about namesake. This is all about you know, I was, speaking for her, just hypothetically, you're an actor in a movie, the first movie in a franchise, and you happen to be one of the bigger names, one of the bigger characters in the franchise. And I think oftentimes actors, they can have kind of a special bond with that character, like say Jamie Lee Curtis and Laurie Strode. She always talks about how much she loves Laurie Strode. She was just talking about it on her most recent movie with Pamela Anderson about the most important character that she's ever played is Laurie Strode. So they feel like they should own a little part of that. Even Stallone went through this a couple of years ago with the character Rocky, in the first movie. And I've done videos on that. I'm not going to go into that, but it's kind of around the same thing. Now, Stallone to Rocky is a much, much, much bigger and more complicated animal than Beverly Randolph, which I don't even remember her character's name in Return of the Living Dead. So, setting aside, and there's probably stuff behind the scenes that we don't know, setting aside, the quality of the director, and I'm not stating that the director of this movie, I don't know his films, and I don't know how great of a director he is, so blank slate. But what I'm saying is, based on the information given, they own the rights to that. And they have every right to make a film, and the film could be great. It could be great. I'm just speaking legally. I'm not talking about, anything like personal opinions on the filmmaker or his or her films. No, this is just from a legal standpoint. I feel like, and guys, let me know, I need your opinion on this, okay? Because let me know if I'm wrong here. But I feel like, based on the information given and how important those characters are, you sign a contract when you first do a movie. Does the contract say that Beverly is going to be playing this particular character, X character? Beverly should own the rights to this character's use in future movies. And I'm guessing the contract didn't say that. And if it didn't say that, I mean, characters are recast all the time. Jamie Lloyd, right? Recast. And you didn't see a lawsuit out of that. So, honestly, I don't see how Return of the Living Dead Media, or not media, whatever their name is, LLC, that's owned by Beverly Randolph, I don't see how they got a leg to stand on. I could be wrong. There could be some information that I don't know. But, it's anytime you got a lawsuit and, Jesus, got some activity there in the chat. Wow. Sometimes I'm glad I don't have the chat open, just so I don't see. Jesus. Thank you, mods. What was I saying? Jesus. Yeah, I think you know what I was saying. Just basically about this movie, based on the information given, I don't really see that the Beverly Randolph's company, how they have a leg to stand on. Again, that's based on the information that I know. All right. Her character's name is Tina. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah. And I love the character. The character is great. She was a perfectly serviceable final girl. That type of character for sure. But and I think this property, this IP's definitely had some controversy. I mean, you had Brian Peck working on I think the first 3 movies, and if you know the story about Brian Peck and his whole controversy with that documentary that came out, Quiet on Set, last year. Was that early this year? Something like that. But yeah. So